everybody. Mark Miller here for the first EUSP challenge. I want to welcome the judges here. We've got Mark Anderson, Mark Fiddleman, and Bill Simser here. We're going to do some brief introductions, then we'll get started right in with the challenge. Mark Anderson, let me start with you first. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. I didn't realize I was going to have to speak now.
That's okay. Why were you chosen as a judge?
Well, probably because I have taught some of these guys some of their hacks. I'm not sure, but you know, I'm not sure that anybody's used client-side code and SP services and jQuery and all that kind of splendid stuff. But I guess that's probably why you asked me to join in.
Excellent. Thanks. Good. Thanks for joining. Mark Fiddleman, thank you for joining us from the time slot. It sounds like you're back on the West Coast right now.
I'm on the West Coast. Thanks for having me, Mark.
Oh, not a problem. Anything fun you're working on? I've been following your articles on Forbes. They've been wonderful.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think you know something I'm trying to put together here that we'll hopefully be able to talk about this week. And quite a few other things that are going to appear here shortly on Forbes. Thanks, Phil.
That's great. We brought Mark in as the not unobjective, the objective third-party observer because he doesn't really care about SharePoint. Bill Simser, which actually brings up a point. Do you really care about SharePoint?
Me or
Mark?
Yeah. Yeah, SharePoint. I don't know. It's a passing fad, you know.
We brought Bill in just to keep the lid on top of things here. I mean, Joe named you the SharePoint Sheriff a couple years ago, and I think that title stuck with me, Bill. So you're here to just keep everybody in line, I think.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that was it. I was tame for the bacon, but there was none. So.
Well, next time we do a dev, we'll have Mark Rackley in so we can do some real bacon.
We do have a little bit of a bacon problem here.
All right, judges, here's the way it's going to go. First of all, I want to say hi to Chris Riley, too. Chris is from CloudShare. Chris, you can jump in here. You got your microphone running?
Now I do.
There you go.
I didn't want you guys to hear me laughing.
No, thanks for coming. Chris, you set up the dev environments for us, didn't you?
Yeah. Basically, using CloudShare Pro Plus, all of the contestants got dev test environments, and we're going to switch on the always on feature today so that they're up and running during the judging. But this is a place for the developers to go, and my favorite part is actually break things, because we all know how painful it is to break stuff. But in CloudShare, it's pretty easy. You break it, and then you start over. So I've been watching the Twitter feed, and it's been fun seeing the activity.
That's great. Thank you. I noticed, let's give a shout out to CloudShare again, just to make sure that everybody realizes what happened here. When the people were trash talking about how good they could code something on Twitter, I got to Chris right away and I said, how fast can you stand us up an environment so I can call these guys out and actually have a hackathon? And his benefit, I mean, Chris, what does it take? All of 5 to 10 minutes to stand up an environment?
Yeah, about 10 minutes to get the fully configured SharePoint farm.
There you go, good. So as the contestants come on and talk about it too, we can hear about some of the things that they dealt with in that environment so people would know what they dealt with too. So Chris, thank you so much. Very, very glad to have you on board on this one. All right, Mr. Love, I guess it's you first. What we're going to do is I've got, let me see here. I've got your screen here. James, if you want to bring your microphone up. Judges, what I'm going to do is run this from my screen, so if you could actually take your microphones off. Judges, you can comment as James is going to kind of throw him off. Or
could we just start with what the challenge was for people that
I can
don't
do
know?
That. Absolutely, yes. Good. James, while we're doing this too, I'm not seeing you unmiked. I want to make sure that you got a mic going, James, before we start up with yours. But Bill, thanks for saying that. Yeah, what we've got here is issued a challenge that said, I want people to develop a multimedia resource center. And I'll scroll down so that we can actually see what it is. Here, there it is. And so the rules were very, very simple. It's you have to be able to have videos stored locally on the SharePoint server, and you have to be able to pull videos from YouTube. Everything else is open game. And really this started out as a hack between the presentation layer people, kind of led by Mark Anderson, right? Mark jokingly said, you know, he had taught half of these guys half the hacks that they know. But in seriousness, what we're talking about is the presentation layer management here versus the hardcore C# coders. That's where the discussion was going on Twitter, and that's where the challenge came from. So what we're going to do is see the discussion where James comes in. James will tell us, did he hit it as a developer, as an interface manager? How did he think of it at first, and then walk us through the solution? Bill, is that okay? That clear?
Yeah, that's great.
Good. So Bill, Mark Fiddleman, please have your mics off if you'd like to comment. As James goes, put your mic on and off. James, welcome to you.
Hi.
Good. You want to give us a little background on you and what you're working on? Not here, but in life?
Sure. I'm a senior SharePoint consultant for intelligent decisioning consultancy in the UK. Been doing SharePoint now for about 5 years now. Mostly server-side code kind of stuff. I do a little bit of JavaScript and front-end work here and there, but most of the time I've got my head in Visual Studio. And also these days I'm starting to lean more into business intelligence solutions, so I've been getting into more different UI solutions using Performance Point and some cool things you can do with that.
All right, very cool. What I have on the screen right now, James, is your solution. Why don't you give us a high-level overview before we get started?
Sure. Well, the first thing I really started with was the basic requirements, and there was two little things I picked up from the basic requirements. One, it had to look good and it had to work.
That's about as basic as it gets.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love those kind of things.
So basically what I started off with it was a list of things I would like it to do and how I can make them look good. And could I get it to work on sort of a really high level of feasibility study on paper. And from that I took pencil to paper and dropped up rough sort of UI sketches, which does look very similar to what we've got here. So this is you can see it's quite metro looking, with the sort of main application name along the top. There's 4 tabs underneath that, which indicate sort of pages and main functional areas. And then below that is what that page does.
Okay, let's walk through the solution then, James. Here's my browse.
Sure, yeah.
This shows me, go ahead.
Yeah, this shows, I think it's the top 20 videos. There's not 20 there, obviously. That's because our local store of videos, I'll come to that in a sec, isn't fully populated. There's 2 stores for this. We wanted YouTube videos and local videos. So what I've got behind the scenes is 2 separate lists. One library for the videos and another list for storing links to YouTube videos.
Okay.
And this view basically pulls on the top, the 10 most recent additions to either list. Okay,
good. There we go to the Find button. What are we going to do here?
You're going to find videos here. So if you were to type in one I know for sure is in there, if you type in metal, M-E-T-L, it will...
And just to let you know, that was an auto too, so I just said M-E-T.
Yep, and it comes back in real time. So to delete that, it clears the view. If you were to type in BMW, I think you're going to get a couple of BMW videos in there. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Let's go to the Manage button.
Yeah, this is something I'm slightly tentative about at this stage. This is basically a view of all the videos here. You can click on them, see the details for them, change them and update them in real time. One of the cool things I do like about I did last night was if you look at the tags text box on the right hand side, and I just hope this works. If you press a comma at the end, as if you're going to type in a new tag, we have autocomplete, and believe it or not, I don't know how I'm going to prove this, these are pulled in from the term store in SharePoint. So this pulls in tags that are stored. And if you were to type, you can type in free text here, so you can add a new tag. And when you hit Save Changes, it will add this free text to the term store, as well as a tag to the video. So if you hit Save Changes now,
okay,
and that'll you get a notification tone in the top right.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. I saw that video saved. I saw it.
Yep.
Okay. Let's do one quick more, and then we'll get the judges to kind of put in what they want to say about
Sure.
this. The ad.
Yeah, there's two panels here. There's an accordion control. So the top half, upload the video. If you click on that, you should get the box. Upload an item.
Nice. Good. I'm not going to do that,
Sure.
but we'll assume that that'll work.
Okay, that's fine, yeah.
Good.
Add videos on YouTube, so in here, ignore the text that's there, but if you were to paste a link to a YouTube video, so I've got one in the clipboard, just to go and grab one.
Do I still have one in the clipboard?
Yeah.
No. I did that. Hold on. I think you and I had something going on somewhere, right? I don't see it there. That's okay. We'll do it real quick.
Yeah, it's go to YouTube.
Apparently Joel's been posting videos all morning to YouTube, so you can grab those.
I've seen that one. Twitter's feed is flooded. So yeah, just copy the URL from there.
Even with all the feature stuff, everything that it says
just absolutely everything. It's the normal link. Paste it in there.
Get the details. Oh, look at that. Okay.
Grabs it, just the ID, grabs all the tags. These tags as well are all chucked in the term store when you hit Save Video.
Okay, good. I'm going to save that video right there. And then at this point, James, I'll say thank you. Let's see what we got from the judges. Bill, let's start with you. Initial reaction, anything else you'd like to see?
All right, so initial reaction looks pretty good. The browse feature is not bad. A little more feedback about how many top videos there would be, or something like that. The find was pretty impressive. I like that. The partial matching was always good. That's sort of kind of expected. Response was good, and that's pretty cool. I wasn't too fond of the manage section. It's there, but it's just not. Well, to me, it's not Metro, right? So it's a little awkward looking. You know, so a little more UI on this would be fine, but you know, it's functional. It's just not that pretty. Yeah. The ad function was. I was impressed with the fact that the ad from YouTube, you could take either the really craptastic URL that you get from the site or the shortened URL. Either would probably work. Again, the UI here is a little ugly. The link text box could be a little larger. But you know, nice that it pulled out the stuff. Just a little UI tweaking on the manage and the find pages would be good, or the manage the ad pages would be good. But overall, not bad. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, as the judges are keeping this in mind, remember now this is a 7-day hack that was on top of a full workload. So, James, we were going to talk about that in a second. Let me get Mark in here first. Mark Fiddleman, let's go with you first. What do you think, Mark?
For a 7-day hack, I thought it was really good. I do think the interface could be a little bit more Metro, although I do like it. I'd like to see the top videos of the month, the week, that are added here. I mean, especially of the week or the month, just to keep people updated as to, you know, what's hot and what's not, and encourage other people to look. The auto tags were really nice under the find section. I believe it was find. Under manage, you've got to improve the interface, but you know, given the 7-day timeline, I think it was, you know, you've done an adequate job here. The automatic tags or tag lookup, excellent, love it. And let's see, my other notes, comments here. Now, when you under add, when you add a link from YouTube, is it pulling the links or pulling the tags automatically from YouTube? Is that an automatic function?
Yes, it's a part of the YouTube API. So when you request a video by ID, part of the stuff you get back is all the tags, and I just populate that text box.
And what if the tags were locked down within this particular SharePoint environment? Would that matter?
Yeah, I suppose if you add restricted tags within SharePoint, something is going to fail in the back end, which I've not actually handled yet. I've not taken into account yet.
Yeah. Okay, but excellent anyway. I thought within 7 days this was excellent.
Yeah, thanks.
Great. Mark Anderson, you're up.
I think the best thing about it to me is that you feel like you're interacting with one application. You know, you don't have that sort of ka-chunk post-back feel, which is something that I always try to, strive to get rid of. And I really like the fluidity of moving from page to page or function to function. I can't even tell what, I can't really make that distinction, which is great.
Yep.
Usually SharePoint pages feel very clunky. I think, the interface stuff that the other guys have mentioned, I would agree with. I think that the real-time use of the term store without making it feel like you're using the term store is really cool. One of the worst things about the term store to me is the sort of look and feel of the out-of-the-box interaction, and I think James has done a great job of tracking away from that so that it feels like something a little more like what you're trying out on the web. The ad thing is great. The parsing out, it's so simple that I think pretty much any user could use it, which is another important thing. There's not a lot of sort of techie speak stuff on here. It looks like what a human being would want to use as opposed to some sort of developer, which I think is great. A lot of the times we forget that real people have to use these things. So I think it's great. I mean, the one other UI thing that I don't think Bill or Mark mentioned, when you click on browse, find, manage, there's no indicator of where you are. So once you've used this for a while, obviously you'd know that you were on the browse function, but it might be nice to sort of indicate. I guess the Metro thing might be to put a little underline under it or something, just so that you know where you are.
Yeah.
Other than that, great. I mean, it is impressive, 7 days. I'm sure the other guys will have some cool stuff too.
Yeah.
Can I ask Bill and Mark, are you interested in seeing the infrastructure at all? He said there's a couple lists here. Is that something we want to look at?
I don't know if we want to do it now because I don't think we have time, but I definitely want to take a look at it under the covers afterwards.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, good. James, a couple things. Are you going to put this solution on CodePlex? Was this just a demo for us? What's your intention here?
I think I will put some of it on CodePlex. There's two sides to this, really. There's all the front end, all the JavaScript, and, well, believe it or not, the entirety of this is one HTML page. A fair bit of JavaScript, and there's also there's a custom WCF service in the background, which acts like a REST service. So I'll put the very basics of it on CodePlex and see if I can make it easily reproducible and easily, you can deploy it in a simple way.
Great. Thank you, guys. Thank you, James. Wonderful start. Really nice way to get started here. So for those of you watching the video, this is the time that you should go and vote. You look underneath the video here, and there will be a link to the voting page. You might want to see what the other guys are going to do before you do go and vote. But if you like it, remember that's James's solution there. So
is this where he comes and stands up front and we have the 800 number underneath?
I think we just did. I'm going to put his picture up over there. Great. Thank you, James, very much. Very much.
Where's the vote button? Be logged in? Is that what I need to be?
No, you're not voting. You're just giving your opinion, Mark, and then the community is going to vote.
Got it. Thanks.
Okay. Doug, welcome. I see that you came in. Pravna's been waiting silently in the wings here. So, Pravna, why don't you put your microphone on? James, if you would mute, I'm sorry, Doug, if you would mute your microphone. We're going to work with Pravna on this one. Thank you. Hey, Doug.
It's Pranav.
Pranav, okay, good. Pranav, let me know when I hit yours.
Okay, it's the fourth one.
That one.
Yep, there it is.
Okay, good. Pranav, if you would introduce yourself, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm Pranav Sharma. I work with Portal Solutions out of the DC metro area as a senior SharePoint consultant, and I travel a lot between New York and DC. So my solution here Can I jump into it, Mark?
Please, go for it.
So I had an unusually busy week, as I'm sure all of us have had in the past. So I decided to take the opportunity to showcase the power of SharePoint out of the box. Oftentimes we have a tendency to start with customizing and not really think about what we can accomplish with just configuring. My solution here is a codeless sandbox solution. There is no server-side DLL. Everything is done with a sandbox solution, and the entire solution is inspired by an out-of-the-box asset library and with an integrated content type called a link to a document. So, Mark, if you would just go ahead and click on one of the videos. What you see on the screen here is two videos. The first one is a YouTube video.
Can you see it playing now?
Yeah,
can you see it?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
So the first video is coming in from YouTube. It is stored, a link is stored to the video within SharePoint. And as you can see, pretty standard YouTube embed. So if Mark, you would close that out and open up the second one. What you'll see is this video is coming in from SharePoint. Now the nice part is, if you're not looking close enough, the UI will seem pretty much the same to you. What this is using here is a HTML5 player with a YouTube skin on it. So the user experience would seem a bit integrated there.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mark, if you would close that out, I guess we would have to sign in really quickly to show the upload experience, but all of that is done through the out-of-the-box ribbon. And here, Mark, I will...
Hold on, there's documents and libraries. We can at least look. What would you?
Yep, so we would go to the Documents tab, and then, so we would just basically click New Document, and then we would have two options there, one for, and I guess you would need to be authenticated to be able to upload. Okay. You would have two options, one for a link to a YouTube video and one for a local video.
All right, Pranav, if you can put that in the chat room, there we go. Do you mind people seeing
No, not
this?
at all. Go for it.
Okay. So I'll do here. I'm going to copy the username, and where's my login? I got
on the top right, just the standard SharePoint login.
There we go. All right. Hold on a second. I'm being blocked out here. There it is. Is that correct, or should be user? User. Okay.
Yep.
And the password is just password with a 1 after it?
Yep, with the capital P at the beginning.
Yeah. Okay. So what would you like me to do?
So now if you go to the Documents tab on the ribbon, you just click the drop-down under New Document, and you'll see you have the option to upload a local video or a YouTube video. So if you would just select the YouTube video. So what this is using here, and this is one of the most interesting things I discovered about SharePoint that I hadn't previously known. There is a out-of-the-box content type called a link to a document, which can be used on document libraries. And what it does on the back end is it creates a fake shim of the ASPX page, and it stores a link to an external document or whatever you may have. And clicking on it will actually just redirects you. So here, the user would specify the title of the video and a link to the YouTube video. Any format would do. All the parsing is done in JavaScript, and it's put into the document library, and you'll see it in that interface there.
Excellent. Let's go back and do documents again, and now you want to do the local video.
So the local video is just a standard SharePoint upload, and if you, I don't know if you have a local file to upload, but once you upload it, you get the standard video content type that ships with SharePoint. It allows you to, if you hit cancel and select the already uploaded video and hit edit properties, you can see some of the supported. Okay. Just select the checkbox and hit edit properties on the ribbon. So you can see it supports a lot of properties out of the box. The most interesting one is the preview image URL. you can specify a custom preview image, and that will just update the standard one that it is using. Just a little bit about the back end. This is a custom document library, which is inspired from an ACID library. Most of the work is done in XSL transforms. And there's about roughly 20 to 30 lines of JavaScript code. And again, no server-side DLL. All of this is being done through configuration only. And it's a great example of what SharePoint can do out of the box.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Mark Anderson, let's go with you first. What do you think about the out-of-the-box solution?
Well, I think the really nice thing about the out-of-the-box solution is that if this were to fit into some existing, say, intranet or application that's already there, it would pick up all of that frame. So while it may seem like it's a rather spare way to do it, it would be great because you could drop it right into the center of some existing application. So I think that's actually a plus. James had this great UI, but if you dropped it in, it would look different than what's there. Neither one's better or worse, but this actually gives you that capability. Obviously, using the out-of-the-box stuff is cool. SharePoint does a lot for you without having to do a lot of work. And while some of the out-of-the-box stuff that SharePoint gives you around videos is sort of rudimentary, it does get the job done, as Pranav has shown. So it's cool. I like it.
Okay, good. Thank you, Mark Fiddleman. Out of the box for you as a typical user now.
Oh, I would have gone with this interface. I think SharePoint has a bad rap for a bad interface, and I think especially with media centers, I would have to agree. I wouldn't have gone this route. I can understand the appeal. I can understand why you did it, and you've done a nice job of integrating it. I just would not have gone this way.
Okay, good. Thank you. Bill?
Oh, wow. All right. The video preview integration, so whether you're looking at YouTube or local videos, was good. I think it was interesting discovering the document type and linked document type. That's something I didn't know. Obviously, it looks like it was inherited from a URL content type, but so that's interesting. But from a solution perspective, just not really there. I'm not feeling the love. It's interesting, but yeah, sorry.
Okay, that's okay. So what we're looking at here now, from the people in the audience that are watching this and are going to vote on this, if it means a lot to you to have a user-managed solution, now this is what you were going for, right? This is basically, you don't have to go to IT, you don't have to go to anybody to use this. Where would they be able to get your JavaScript code to run this?
So this would be a sandbox WSP. They can download it on my CodePlex site, and they would just go to their site collection and upload the WSP, activate it, and boom, they have this media manager. They don't have to go through IT. They don't have to go through a complex deployment procedure. Everything is managed within the sandbox environment.
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. That's 2 down, 2 to go. So what we have is we've got Doug and Matthew available here. Doug, you've been waiting in the wings quietly. Why don't you turn your microphone on there, Doug? And we'll make sure that we've got a good sound check for you. I'm not seeing Doug's microphone change. Hold on a second here. Maybe he stepped away for a second, or I'm watching the chat room. Matthew, while we're seeing, oh, there's Doug. Okay, go ahead, Doug. Say hi. I'm not hearing anything, Doug. Is anybody hearing any audio from Doug?
I got nothing.
I can hear Doug's static. It's kind of soothing.
Oh, you can hear it? I couldn't even hear the static come on.
It's like white noise to me. It's great.
There we go. Let's see. Matthew, how is your audio? Can we hear your audio, Matthew? No, I'm not getting audio there either. Now, that's interesting. Hold on a second here. Okay, Mark Fiddleman, we had issues with you to start too. Did you do anything, Mark, other than just sit there and wait it out?
Yeah, I closed down the chat areas with you, and then all of a sudden the audio popped on.
So it looks like Matthew can hear us, but his microphone isn't working. Doug, I'm looking at the chat room too to see if you can hear us.
So we can mock Matthew, but he can't respond to us. Okay,
that's right. Maybe we should do him first, and that way he can hear you. All right. Matthew, I am going to go. Doug says he can hear fine, but he can't talk. Okay, so we're going to do these. We're going to walk through these ourselves here. Matthew, this is yours right here, correct? Just want to make sure that I've got it. Whose is this, Doug or Matthew? No, it's not Matthew. This is Doug's. Okay. Doug. Okay. Doug, if you stay in the chat room, we're going to walk through this and see if we can figure out what you did here. All right? And that way you can come in a bit as we're going along here. Guys, Bill, I'll start with you. What's your initial reaction when you see this page like here? Scroll down and he says I can, there you go. There's an explanation there. When you first see this, Bill, what's your reaction?
What am I looking at? So I see sample boxes, but if this is video, yeah, okay, so they are, okay. So my initial reaction would be that I'm a visual person. I want to see the videos. This is a multimedia resource center, so the preview buttons should be previews, so not just make me click on this thing so I can see what I'm actually looking at. You know, otherwise, you know, custom solution. They're talking about using smooth streaming, which on its best day isn't a great technology that works all the time, but that's neither here nor there. Can you play one of the videos? Is it an embedded video?
Sure. Yeah, there's ducks.
So, okay. I'm not hearing any.
Did you hear ducks talking, by the way?
What's that?
Yeah, he was definitely talking. It was definitely working, yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know ducks talks, so, you know. Yeah, so that's interesting. Is there a video? Where's the local video? That's a YouTube video, so is there a local one?
Okay, he says try sample 7. There, I'm seeing a load going on here.
Okay. All right. And something happens when you click play.
He said bad button, so the buttons are... Oh, I hear sound.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I'm going to pause it.
Yeah, so again, from the user experience, I'm seeing a different UI. So even with Pravda's solution, he had a nice integrated, seamless integration with the player. So whether you're playing YouTube video or local video, it just looked the same. Here I've got this, you know, Silverlight experience versus YouTube experience. So a little bit of, you know, work there would have to make it more seamless.
If you look at some of the technology he's doing down here, I want to make sure that we represent Doug well because he can't be talking. But uploaded videos are automatically re-encoded using the IIS smooth streaming technology. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, like I said, that's just when you upload a video, you either get the built-in encoding that SharePoint provides, which is pretty next to nothing. And then there's a separate IIS smooth streaming server technology that can do encoding. It's a separate product, separate setup. You know, it's a little bit better than the out of the box, but in my experience, it's not that fabulous. I'm not sure what the other guys did for any kind of re-encoding of content. And then the other question would be, so it says YouTube videos are presented in iframe, so there's no uploading involved there. The other thing I can see here is, you know, the videos are embedded on the page, so they don't pop up like the previous two solutions or one solution. But there's that option to go full screen with them. I think, I'm not sure, I don't see that with the Silverlight one, but it should be there, I guess. Overall, interesting. Like I said, the video presentation he's done a complete job on redoing the entire page so that it's not SharePoint, but didn't go that extra mile to, show us video previews or skin the player controls. So,
great. Thank you, Bill. Mark Anderson.
Well, I think that I see where Bill's coming from on the UI. On the other hand, I think it's nice in the sense that it gives you a point of view from a UI. It's got a point to it. Who knows what that crazy end user asked for in requirements when Doug interviewed them, right? So, if we're looking at a fixed set of videos, say this is a training course or something, and we were going to step through them logically, I think, this UI works pretty well. You're right, though, Bill. I mean, having some sort of cue at the bottom or on those buttons or whatever we call them, just say, what is this thing would be nice. We don't see any metadata for the videos. Sample 6 doesn't tell me anything about what that thing is. So it would be nice to see some data there. I think the fact that the videos are sort of in line is nice. On the other hand, given your screen resolution, Mark, and who knows what Doug was working with, there isn't a lot of flexibility. If somebody has a smaller screen, they're just not going to see those buttons. So a little bit of below the fold issue here. But I think that the general look and feel is sort of nice, and it does get it does what the requirements ask for, and so it's definitely got all the features that we were looking for, I think.
Great, thank you, Mark Fiddleman. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. I like the UI. I think there are several things missing, though. One, of course, are the thumbnail. There should be thumbnail pictures. I think Bill called them previews. I agree with that. There's no search functionality that I could see here, so it's kind of what you see is what you get. I recognize it was only 7 days for them to put it together. And I also like to see a top 10 list and hottest videos of the week or the month. And tags. You definitely want to have tags or some way of finding these videos in the future, so some kind of metadata that supports each of these videos. But other than that, you did a great, admirable job. I like the interface.
Great, thanks. Doug is saying on the back channel, all that is planned. So Doug, it sounds like you intend to continue working on this project and build it out a bit. Is that correct? And I'm watching the chat room for Doug. And if so, Doug, where would it be so that people can find it? He says he's going to carry this forward is what he says. So good. All right, thank you. If you like what you see here, don't forget to go over and vote. Look at the link beneath the video here and go and vote for a Doug solution, which leaves us one more to go here. Matt, thanks for coming back. I know that you had to jump into a meeting. I'm going to try to find yours. Let me know when I hit yours, Matthew. I think that's yours. Matthew, do we get the microphone issue worked out, Matthew? It sounds like not. All right. So, Matthew, just type as quickly as you can in the chat room as we're going through this. Mark Fiddleman, let's start with you first. As you look at this interface, talk me through a click-through. There's a couple of things to discover here which are interesting.
Wow.
I don't know if you can hear that or not.
I can't hear
that.
Just I like the pull-out. I think the video should be thumbnails, but the interface is interesting. I'd make it bigger, almost Pinterest-like or Metro-like.
Okay.
So far, it's intriguing.
What do we got for an upload video, Mark? Any comment on that?
Looks straightforward. I think if you were to browse and find a document, let's see if you can enter metadata.
The problem is, excuse me, my videos are going to be huge. I don't even want to pretend to do that. But Matthew says, try a text file. All right. Hold on a second. Here is did I just cover my screen?
Yeah, you did. It looked like in the notes, it only supported WMV, which.
All right. I just got a note from Matthew that says try text file. Let's see what we can do here. Nope, it's not showing up. I can do a wildcard search just to see, and it's still not showing up. So, doesn't look like it, Matt. He said he didn't block that. Anyway, let's keep going a little bit here and see what we can do. I'm having trouble turning this modal window off, though. I can't seem to get it to turn off. I can't see the top or the bottom here. Let me click OK and get an error message at least. Okay. Escape. Nope, I'm going to have to reload the page.
All right, here we go.
All right, good. So I've got upload. I've got to find a video here. Matthew had told me earlier that something wasn't working right. So that one doesn't work. The other thing I'm noticing here, Mark Fiddleman, as we're talking this through, is the tweet button. I think that's kind of nice. We haven't seen that before.
That's a great point. That's one thing that we haven't seen. Now, if this is an external site, I think it's great. For an internal site, I think it'd be less relevant, I believe. But that's nice. It's nice to see some social media show up in some of these media centers.
Mark, last thing for you is I'm clicking on any of these links. And there we go.
The full screen takeover.
You do or do not?
I do. I do like it.
Okay, good. So the other thing that I thought was interesting, and you might not be able to tell, Mark, is I didn't have to fly this thing out at all. When I click one of the files here that is just an MP3, it automatically flies that thing out.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, good. Thank you. Mark Anderson, what do you think?
From a UI perspective, I think it's a little basic, but on the other hand, it sort of gets the job done. The pullout on the left is cool. That's a neat way to show what's going on without being too obtrusive. The tweet link at the top is also a nice idea. You know, making videos social is obviously something that a lot of organizations want. Obviously not good, but from the standpoint, very good. A couple of things are broken, but again, you know, short time period. It looks like Matt's handling several different file types. We've got MP3s. I see some videos in there, so you know, a good mix of different types of media, which I don't think we saw in the other ones. We saw, I think, more of a focus on video. So, you know, it's a nice effort.
Yeah, hold on just a second, because Matthew's asking us to embed a video here. So, Matthew, I'm going to put that up in there. Caption is going to be test of environment. And the video tags are RSA and SharePoint, just to have something. Try skydiving. Hold on just a second. There we go. It's the keywords. Okay. Enterprise keywords. Embed here. I'm not sure, Matthew. You're sending me to put something in here for the tags. Oops, he said. That's okay. Bill, I want to move forward. You've seen the functionality here. Comments?
Oh, a few things. Video previews. It's a video site. I don't want to see 300 slate boards. It's great for a mock-up, but not for the actual thing. A different user experience for the MP3 versus the videos. Not sure how I feel about that. The flyout is cute. Maybe if the video was a flyout as well, that would have been better. Don't like the video. Don't like the full screen video because pop the video up. Let me decide whether or not I want to go full screen with it. Or if there was an option to configure it to say, you know, launch in full screen kind of thing, that would have been awesome. I didn't see that. The embedded video looked a little awkward. Again, maybe I'm jaded from the, you know, James's first system where he actually pulled back data from YouTube, whereas this one was sort of very brain dead. You know, put the link in, and we hope you got it right. And then things like keywords. One thing that really bothers me in SharePoint, and this is general web development of any kind, is that when you give me a text box and want me to put information in, but it's got to be formatted in a special way, you need to tell me, show me, or guide me. You know, is it commas, semicolons, spaces? You know, how do I separate my keywords? You know, so guide the user along. I'm a big proponent of don't let the user think, right? Don't make me think. Don't make me think about how should I tag videos, right? You know, that's okay. That's good. That's better. So that's cool. I like that. I don't know from this, the raw embed tag, can I take the full URL or not, right? So, you know, so that's the, you know, that's that extra step you have to do when you go to YouTube, right? Go to YouTube, click share, grab the URL. Whereas with the other one, we could grab the full raw URL and it would handle it. Not much video, not much information here. So, you know, I'm hoping it would pull metadata from the video, but again, we're not seeing that anywhere. So things like frame rate, sizes, you know, what have you. The find video, you said it wasn't working, but the one thing that I think, you know, we should have in applications when we build them is things like, if we're doing a find, just give me a search box on the screen, right? The out-of-the-box SharePoint does that well. You know, give me a search box. Don't make me go to another page just to enter something and then take me to another page to show me the results, right? You're making me click too many times here. You know, this would have been just easy. Just drop a search box on there and even a little, you know, search icon. That's fine. Kudos for the social media integration. I think that's we had missed on the other solutions, and I think it's actually something that should be now. This may be internal, but it should be one of those things that would be an option, right? I install it and I say, yes, I want to activate social media features and go that extra distance of what social media features do I want to exercise. But yeah, being able to tweeting and being able to share things out, that's great on the page, but how do I, you know, what if I want to tweet just one video or just one song or file, right? Tweeting the whole app is interesting, but, you know, and it's got the, you know, the OAuth going, so that's great. But again, you know, what am I tweeting here? I'm tweeting the app or I'm tweeting some individual video. So, but overall, not bad. It's, you know, the interface, you know, it's, it works. Can you scroll down to the bottom part? Is there a limit? So what happens when I have more? Right.
Right.
So,
the other thing, Bill, that Matthew wanted you to see is notice that the header here remains the same when you're scrolling.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Now
no, that's cool.
let's be fair here. Let's be fair here a little bit. Doug and Matthew are at a little disadvantage because they couldn't talk to us here. I've been following the scrolling here. But what we're going to do for everybody, for all four, is when you have a spare moment, we will actually put up whatever you want on end-user SharePoint describing your solution so that you get a fair shot. Doug, you're saying a lot in the chat room here that people will see when they're watching the video, but we want to get you better exposure than that. So that's the way we're going to do it from this point forward. We're going to say, let's put it out there for the vote, but in the meantime, if you have more to say, we'll get you as much exposure as possible. Bill, I want to start with you on this one. Hold on a second here. I want to get back to the challenge again here. Bill, overall, give me feedback on all four solutions here. What'd you walk away with?
You know, I think all of the contestants did a great job. they had a week, on top of their day jobs, which, I barely had enough time to trash talk to people this week. So kudos to everybody to get their stuff in. Overall, a great effort on all fronts. I think there's some interesting elements of each of them, and so there's potential for that fifth element, which is somebody taking bits and pieces from each of them and combining them together into the EUSPHackathon challenge. But no, good stuff. I liked a bunch of them. There's a few that I wouldn't personally have gone down that route, but some were great and some were not so great.
Thank you, Mark Fiddleman. What'd you like? What'd you see?
Yeah, I'm more impressed, I think, than Bill is on what they've been able to accomplish in the last 7 days. I know Bill's impressed, but for me, it just shows the power of SharePoint. And unfortunately, a lot more people aren't developing solutions like what I've seen. Mark, you should be hosting more of these contests to get more of these things into the marketplace. If you're asking me to select a winner, I will. Otherwise,
I am not. I mean, we're not here to do that. You're just to act as the community's advocate, and then the community is going to come in and vote.
Right. I think the individuals that did the changes to the UI, I think I applaud that effort. I had no idea you could do that. But everybody, I think, did an admirable job of creating these media centers that just make intuitive sense.
Great, thank you. Mark Anderson, you want to round it all out?
Sure, I'll sum it all up. I think one of the most interesting things to me is that, especially for the end users out there who will be watching this video and seeing these solutions, is that they're all pretty different. And when you first of all, when you ask some developers to build you a media resource center or something like this, obviously you need to be reasonably specific, or you may get this kind of variation. As a consultant, I often get the sort of one paragraph view and they want me to bid on it, and it's very difficult to do that if people don't really know what they want. So you're seeing that variation because the requirements were fairly vague, which makes it more fun. And then the other thing is that I see is that each developer really did take a different approach. I mean, I think they're all different enough that you can see the skills of each developer versus some of their, the things that they weren't so happy to do. I don't think any of them are bad. I mean, I think what happens in a short period of time, it's pretty impressive. I think Mark made a good point. This is stuff that SharePoint can do, and we should hope that some people who are watching this stuff or looking at the solutions will say, hey, I didn't know SharePoint could do that. And in somebody's spare time over the course of 10 days, I mean, we can obviously build real solutions on top of this platform relatively fast. And that's the impressive part of all this.
Great. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for that. So that's it. For those of you that are watching the videos, it's your turn now. We're going to plan on the vote here. You can click the link below. You've seen 4. If they are available, Chris Riley, could you come on for a second if you're still here? Chris, are these solutions going to be available anonymously for people to actually come and see? It looks like I'm not seeing a response from Chris here. So we'll talk with Chris and actually tweet it out, or actually put it in the description where you would go and see these. Chris says he's going to be on in a second. Okay, good. The other thing is the time, the length of voting time. Guys, I want to leave it up to you, the judges here. I had scheduled this to go till Friday at
Mark,
midnight.
I'm here.
I'm wondering, Mark, Bill, and Mark, is that long enough? Should we extend the voting, or is that about right?
Friday's long enough, my opinion.
Yeah,
Unless
I think.
you can leave it up for people to see on CloudShare.
So what we'll do, sorry, I talked about bad UI. Sorry, WebEx, but the volume control panel disappeared on me and I couldn't unmute myself. What we'll do is today I'm going to go and enable Always On for the 4 farms. And that way we can hand out the web access URL to people and leave it up for voting, and then we'll leave it up through the week so that people can play with it. However, I just realized if people start uploading their own content, it might get a little iffy. So we could do that, or you guys can take a snapshot and we can share the snapshot, the permalink. That way everyone would have their own copy, but it's up to you, because at that point then your solution's kind of out there.
My intention was not to allow anonymous access to upload, Chris. I don't think that's part of it.
So if there's restrictions on upload and you're with the anonymous access, then there shouldn't be any concerns about people just viewing it.
Okay, great. Doug says that he's got a domain that points to it, so he's got a way to do that. But in general then, Chris, you're going to turn it on. We're going to have voting until midnight on Friday.
Okay.
And then you can take off that full access time.
Cool.
That's fair to everybody? All right. Good. So for you developers, thank you so much. If you would like to talk about your solutions some more, please, you know how to get a hold of me and Natasha. We can do that. Thank you, Doug. Doug says this is awesome. James, Matthew, Pravna, Doug, thank you so much. I know it was not easy. But I tell you what, we've had a lot of interest in this. I'm going to take Mark Fiddleman up on that and say, you know, we should be doing one of these every month or two, just some kind of solution. And maybe it's the 4 developers choose the next solution. That might be the way to do it, so that we can make it not hard, but something that could actually be useful. That sound good?
Yeah, Mark, let's talk offline, because I have some ideas around that.
That sounds great. Thank you, Mark. So thank you, everybody, so much. If you would, at the conclusion of this, go ahead and tweet out that we're done. That polling is going to open within the next couple hours as I get everything encoded and uploaded. So thank you, guys. Judges specifically, Bill, Mark, and Mark, thank you so much for your time. Chris Riley, wonderful having the environments. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
And we'll see everybody soon. All right?
Thanks, Mark.
Take care.
Bye.